When we look at a fish farm, we often see a calm, still surface of water. It seems so peaceful, so simple. We might see the silver shapes of fish swimming gently beneath the surface, moving together in a quiet dance. It appears as though all they need is a bit of water and some food to be happy and healthy. But beneath that tranquil surface lies a hidden world, a world that is incredibly busy and complex. The fish farmer is like a careful conductor of a grand, invisible orchestra, making sure every single note is perfect. For the fish to thrive, their home must be more than just wet. It needs to be a precisely managed environment where everything is in perfect balance. Imagine living your whole life in a single room. You would want that room to be just right, wouldn't you? You would need the air to be fresh, the temperature to be comfortable, and the space to be clean. For a fish, its watery world is its room, its home, and its entire universe. Every drop of water contains the essentials for its life. The secrets to successful fish farming are not found on the surface, but deep within the water itself. It is here that a delicate balance of different elements must be maintained with great care and scientific understanding. This unseen world is where the true magic of raising healthy fish happens. The work of a fish farmer is not just about feeding the fish. It is about becoming a guardian of their environment. They must understand what the fish need, almost as if they could think like a fish themselves. They use special tools and scientific knowledge to listen to the water's secrets. They are constantly checking, testing, and adjusting things we cannot even see. This constant attention ensures that the thousands of fish living together have everything they need to grow strong and healthy. It is a world of silent signals and hidden chemistry, a place where science helps nature flourish in a carefully constructed home. So the next time you see a fish farm, think about the incredible world that is hidden from our eyes. It is not just a pond or a net in the sea, it is a complex, living system. It is a place where every tiny detail matters immensely to the creatures that live there. The serene surface hides a story of constant vigilance and deep understanding of the natural world. This is the secret life of fish in their farmed environment, a life that depends entirely on the careful balance of the invisible forces that shape their underwater home, a world full of hidden mysteries waiting to be understood. Just as we need air to breathe, fish need oxygen in their water. They don't breathe air with lungs like we do, but instead, they use their gills to pull tiny invisible bubbles of oxygen directly from the water. This oxygen is what gives them the energy to swim, to eat, and to grow. A fish farmer must ensure there is always enough oxygen dissolved in the water, sometimes using special machines to add more. The water's temperature is also incredibly important. Fish are cold-blooded, which means their bodies are the same temperature as the water around them. A perfect temperature helps them digest their food properly and keeps their bodies working as they should. Then there is something scientists call pH. This is a way of measuring if the water is too acidic or too alkaline. Think of it like a food being too sour or too bitter. Fish need the water's pH to be just right, a neutral and comfortable level. If it changes too much, it can feel very uncomfortable for the fish, almost like a constant irritation on their skin and gills. Another vital ingredient is the salt level, or salinity. Some fish, like salmon, live in salt water, while others, like trout, live in fresh water. Fish farmers must match the saltiness of the water perfectly to the type of fish they are raising, creating an environment that feels just like their natural home. Light is also a factor in this complex recipe for a perfect fish home. Just like us, fish have daily rhythms. The amount of light they get tells them when it is time to be active and when it is time to rest. Light can guide their feeding habits and even help them know when it is the right season to breed. Fish farmers can use controlled lighting to mimic the natural cycles of day and night and the changing seasons. This helps the fish feel secure and reduces their stress, allowing them to follow the natural patterns that they have been following for millions of years in the wild, ensuring they behave as naturally as possible. So, a fish's home is a carefully mixed cocktail of many different ingredients. It is not just water, but water with the right amount of oxygen, the perfect temperature, a balanced pH, the correct salinity, and a natural cycle of light. Each of these elements is a crucial piece of the puzzle. The fish farmer acts as a scientist, constantly measuring and adjusting these factors. They are creating a 5-star hotel for their fish, where every need is met and the conditions are always just right. This attention to detail is what makes a fish farm a successful and healthy place for fish to live. What happens when this delicate balance is disturbed? Let's think about oxygen first. If there is too little oxygen in the water, a fish will struggle to breathe. Imagine trying to run a race while breathing through a tiny straw. It would be exhausting and frightening. For fish, low oxygen makes them feel weak and sluggish, and they may come to the surface gasping for air. On the other hand, if there is too much oxygen, it can cause tiny bubbles to form in their blood, which is a dangerous condition. It is a reminder that even a good thing can be harmful if there is too much of it. Temperature is also a factor where just right is the only option. If the water gets too cold for a particular type of fish, its body will slow down. It will stop eating and growing, becoming sleepy and inactive because its metabolism cannot function properly. But if the water becomes too warm, the fish will become very stressed. Warmer water also holds less oxygen, making it even harder for the fish to breathe. This is like being forced to wear a thick winter coat on a very hot summer day, while also finding it difficult to catch your breath. Both extremes are dangerous and can make the fish very sick. The pH balance is just as critical. If the water becomes too acidic, it can harm a fish's sensitive skin and gills, causing a painful, burning sensation. It interferes with their ability to take in minerals from the water, which are essential for strong bones and healthy bodies. If the water becomes too alkaline, it can also cause damage to their gills and skin, making it difficult for them to get rid of waste from their bodies. The wrong pH level is like living in a room where the air constantly irritates your eyes and lungs, making it impossible to feel comfortable or healthy for even a moment. Similarly, the wrong salt level is a serious threat. A freshwater fish placed in salt water would quickly lose all the water from its body and become dehydrated, a bit like a plant without water. A saltwater fish in freshwater would have the opposite problem. Its body would absorb too much water, causing its cells to swell up. Each fish is specially adapted to its own environment. The fish farmer must be a master of chemistry, ensuring that not one of these crucial elements strays from its perfect level. Any mistake can quickly lead to stress, illness, and danger for the entire population of the farm. Beyond the natural elements like oxygen and temperature, there is another major challenge in a fish's world: pollution. In a fish farm, thousands of fish live together in a contained space. Just like any living creature, fish produce waste. This waste, along with any uneaten food, can build up in the water. One of the main components of this waste is a substance called ammonia. Even in small amounts, ammonia is very toxic to fish. It can damage their gills, making it hard for them to breathe, and it can harm their internal organs. It is like living in a house where the rubbish is never taken out. To keep the water clean and safe, fish farmers use clever systems. They are like expert housekeepers for the fish. Many farms use powerful filters to constantly clean the water, removing the waste products before they can become dangerous. These filters work much like the filter in a home fish tank, but on a much larger scale. Some advanced farms use a system called a recirculating aquaculture system, or RAS. This technology cleans and reuses the water over and over again. It is a brilliant way to save water and have complete control over keeping it perfectly clean and free from harmful ammonia. Another type of pollution comes from outside the farm. Runoff from nearby land can carry harmful chemicals like pesticides from farms or pollutants from roads into the water. These substances can be deadly to fish, even in very tiny amounts. This is why the location of a fish farm is so important. A good farmer chooses a location with clean water, far away from sources of pollution. They also build their farms in a way that protects the fish from any unexpected contamination. They are protectors of their watery environment, standing guard against any unseen dangers that might threaten their fish. The battle against pollution is a constant one. It requires careful planning, advanced technology, and a deep respect for the needs of the fish. By keeping the water clean, farmers not only protect their fish from immediate harm, but also reduce their stress, which helps them fight off diseases. A clean home is a healthy home, whether you live on land or under the water. The farmer's role as a guardian of water quality is perhaps their most important job of all, ensuring that the fish have a pure and safe environment in which to grow and thrive. As we have seen, the world of a fish is a web where everything is connected. Think of it like a spider's web. If you touch one strand, the whole web vibrates. In a fish farm, a change in one factor can cause ripples of change throughout the entire system. For example, if the water temperature rises, it doesn't just make the fish warmer. Warmer water holds less dissolved oxygen, so now the fish have two problems to deal with. They are uncomfortably warm, and they are also struggling to breathe. This double stress makes them much more vulnerable to diseases and other problems. This interconnectedness is what makes fish farming such a delicate balancing act. The farmer must be aware of how all the different parts of the environment work together. They know that the amount of food they provide affects the amount of waste the fish produce, which in turn affects the levels of ammonia and the need for filtration. They understand that the amount of light affects the fish's activity levels, which can influence how much oxygen they consume. It is a continuous cycle where every action has a reaction, and the farmer must always be thinking several steps ahead to maintain harmony. This is why science and technology are so important for modern fish farmers. They use electronic sensors to monitor the water quality 24 hours a day. These sensors can check oxygen levels, temperature, and pH, and they will send an alert to the farmer's phone if anything starts to go wrong. This allows the farmer to fix a small problem before it becomes a big one. It is a bit like having a smart home system for the fish, where everything is constantly monitored and adjusted to create the perfect living conditions. This scientific approach helps to make fish farming more sustainable and ensures the fish are well cared for. Ultimately, understanding and managing these hidden factors is the key to a successful farm. It is about more than just producing food. It is about responsible stewardship of living creatures. By creating a stable, clean, and balanced environment, farmers can raise healthy fish while protecting the natural world around them. The secret life of fish is indeed complex, but by respecting its mysteries and using science to understand them, we can ensure that aquaculture provides a healthy source of food for our growing world. The farmer's great balancing act is a dance with nature, guided by knowledge and a deep sense of care.